We'll begin with a new chapter, that is the human neural system, structure and function of the neuron. So basically this is the nervous system of human beings that is we are going to study. The human neural system is divided into two parts, the central neural system, that is the CNS, and the peripheral neural system, that is the PNS. The central neural system includes the brain and the spinal cord and is the site of information processing and control. So the brain and the spinal cord, they are a part of the CNS, and the function of the CNS is information processing and control. It processes the information and controls it. The PNS or the peripheral neural system, it comprises of all the nerves of the body associated with the CNS. So the PNS basically comprises of the nerves which are associated with brain and the spinal cord, that is the CNS. Here in this image you can see the CNS being shown. It is showing the brain as well as the spinal cord in a very simple manner. Now the peripheral neural system, it consists of two types of nerve fibers, the afferent nerve fibers and the efferent nerve fibers. The afferent nerve fibers, they transmit impulses from the tissues or organs to the central nervous system, whereas the efferent fibers, they transmit regulatory impulses from the central nervous system to the concerned peripheral tissues or organs. So these are the basic functions of the afferent and the efferent nerve fibers. The PNS or the peripheral neural system is divided into two divisions called the somatic neural system and the autonomic neural system. The somatic neural system, it relays impulses from the CNS to skeletal muscles, while the autonomic nervous system, it transmits impulses from the CNS to the involuntary organs and smooth muscles of the body. So the somatic and the autonomic neural system respectively carry out different functions of relaying impulses from the central nervous system to the skeletal muscles by the somatic neural system, whereas the autonomic neural system transmits impulses from the central nervous system to the involuntary organs, the organs which are not in our control, which are not in the voluntary control of the human beings, and the smooth muscles of the body. Now here you can see the somatic neural system, parts are being shown, and the central nervous system is also shown, showing the brain, spinal cord, and the peripheral nerves of the peripheral nervous system. The autonomic neural system is further classified into sympathetic neural system and parasympathetic neural system. So the peripheral neural system was divided into somatic and autonomic neural system. The autonomic neural system is further divided into sympathetic and parasympathetic neural systems. Now we will study neuron as a structural and functional unit of the neural system. A neuron is a microscopic structure composed of three major parts, namely the cell body, dendrites, and axon. So it is a microscopic structure which is formed of three parts, the cell body, the dendrites, and the axon. We will study about these parts further. The cell body, it contains cytoplasm with typical cell organelles and certain granular bodies called Nissel's granules. So the cell body, it consists of cytoplasm, which consists of the very general cell organelles, and certain granular bodies called the Nissel's granules. Here in this image, you can see autonomic neural system being shown with the brain, the spinal cord, the nerves. Okay, we'll now do some of the terminologies related to the neural system. There are a few terms you need to remember. Short fibers which branch repeatedly and project out of the cell body also contain Nissel's granules and are called as dendrites. So there are short fibers which are branched and they come out of the cell body and they contain the Nissel's granules. They are known as dendrites. These fibers, they transmit impulses towards the cell body. So the function of dendrites is to transmit the nerve impulses towards the cell body. So this was all about the dendrites. Now we see what are axon. The axon is a long fiber, the distal end of which is branched. Each branch terminates as a bulb-like structure called the synaptic knob, which possess synaptic vesicles containing chemicals called neurotransmitters. So the axon has a distal end which is branched, and each branch of that end, it terminates in a synaptic knob, which is a bulb-like structure consisting of synaptic vesicles which contain chemicals neurotransmitters. And the function of these neurotransmitters are the axons. They transmit nerve impulses away from the cell body to a synapse or to a neuromuscular junction. So these axons, they transmit the nerve impulses away from the cell body to something called a synapse, which is also known as the neuromuscular junction. Here in this image, you can see the short fibers which are branched, and they are the dendrites. They consist of Nissel's granules as well. Now, based on the number of these axon and dendrites, the neurons are divided into three types: multipolar, bipolar, and unipolar. Multipolar being with one axon and two or more dendrites and found in the cerebral cortex. Bipolar is with one axon and one dendrite found in the retina of the eye. And unipolar, the cell body with one axon only. It does not have any dendrite. It is found usually in the embryonic stage. So these were the three types of neurons: multipolar, bipolar, and unipolar, depending on the number of dendrites present, and each one of them has one axon, and they are located at different positions. Then there are two types of axons as well: myelinated and non-myelinated. What does this mean? We'll study further. Here in this image, you can see beautiful picture of the neurons being shown, which have axon as well as dendrites. The myelinated nerve fibers, they are enveloped with Schwann cells which form a myelin sheath around the axon. So what is the meaning of myelinated nerve fibers? They are the ones which are enveloped with Schwann cells which form a myelin sheath around the axon. There is something called a myelin sheath which consists of the protein myelin, which forms a part of the Schwann cells which envelop the myelinated nerve fibers. The gaps between two adjacent myelin sheaths are called the nodes of Ranvier. So, between two adjacent myelin sheaths, there is a gap which is known as the nodes of Ranvier. Myelinated nerve fibers, they are found in spinal and the cranial nerves. So, the location of the myelinated nerve fibers are the spinal and the cranial nerves. The unmyelinated nerve fiber is enclosed by a Schwann cell that does not form a myelin sheath around the axon and is commonly found in autonomous and the somatic neural systems. So the unmyelinated nerve fiber, it is enclosed by a Schwann cell which does not form a myelin sheath around the axon and is found in the autonomous and the somatic neural systems. Here in this image, you can see the myelin sheath being shown, which forms a part of the Schwann cells and which wraps the axon in case of a myelinated nerve fiber.